What's up guys, Doomwake here. We are back with another Modern video on the channel. We're going to be playing some Bring to Light Scapeshift per the request of a couple of people in the comment section over the past couple of days. It's a deck that I highlighted in the Modern metagame review this past Sunday/Monday. I noted it as a deck I wanted to get some reps in and provide you guys some content with because it's a pretty interesting deck. I have played it in the past a couple of times. But there has been, it's sort of ticked up recently in popularity. There's been quite a few people playing it. Notable online grinder Kogamo, which for those of you who may not know is actually Kenji Samura. They've been playing this deck as well. They've been pretty high on it. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys some content with that. Before we continue, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and please be sure to let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video, and you can make fun of me for getting a haircut as well. Although I will say the haircut feels pretty nice. So, but anyways, less about the hair and more about the deck. So we are a Bring to Light Scapeshift deck. Now what does that mean? We're utilizing the card on your screen, Bring to Light, which is a 5 mana sorcery. And you can pay a bunch of different colors of mana and you get more benefit for each color of mana you put into it. So we want to be playing 5 colors of mana. So you can see we have, all the colors of the rainbow littered across our mana base. And what we're trying to do with Bring to Light. Now, we don't actually have any 5 mana cards. As you can see, like, we have the Bring to Lights that cost 5 mana, but then everything, I have the curve kind of, I stack the Bring to Lights with the 4s. We don't actually have any 5s to get with Bring to Light. So even though, we're not utilizing the black color mana for Bring to Light, we're utilizing that for Prismatic Ending and Hardcast Valky. But anyways, Bring to Light is a card that is really versatile because it can obviously get Scapeshift, which just makes it so you have more effective copies of Scapeshift in your deck. But it also is really nice to be able to have some additional bullets, like we have a Supreme Verdict in our main deck, which we can get when we need it. It can also tutor for an Omnath if you don't have enough lands for a Scapeshift, which can help bridge you towards you draw a card off Omnath, get a little bit deeper into your deck, buying you some time to get to the second Bring to Light, which will find the lethal Scapeshift. The other cool thing about this deck is we are a 4 Dryad, 4 Valakut deck, which means sometimes we just draw a Dryad and a Valakut or two, and we can kind of just go manual mode without actually needing the Scapeshift. So that's kind of cool too. You can also Bring to Light for Dryad, which does come up sometimes. Notably, you can't Bring to Light for Planeswalkers, which is kind of a bummer. So we don't have access to Teferi and Red and 6 off of Bring to Light, but these are just really powerful cards. Expressive Iteration is a newer addition, and one that I think kind of ties the room together. It really, this deck is very mana hungry. It wants to hit all of its land drops because it is a Scapeshift deck. So when you Scapeshift, you ideally want to have 7 lands in place so you can get a Valakut and 6 mountains to deal your opponent 18 damage, because all the mountains see the Valakut and each other when they come into play. So we want to get to 7 lands so we can Scapeshift our opponent for 18, potentially 8 for an additional 18 damage if we need that, if they're at, above 18 or whatever. So Expressive Iteration allows you to hit your land drops. It allows you to, it's just a good card advantage card. It's just a straight up 2-for-1. It is something that, digs you towards your more powerful cards like Omnath. It could potentially find a Dryad or a Valakut if you're missing that part of the equation, which is pretty cool too. Just a really, really nice card in this deck, and one that I haven't actually tried. I haven't played a version of this deck since Iteration became a card, so I'm very excited to see how this plays out. We got 1 Valky in here for all of you Tibalt fans in the world. I know for some reason the card reader doesn't like the flip cards, but let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for Tibalt. But here's Tibalt in all of its glory. Basically, what we're doing here is if you Bring to Light, you can get a Valky God of Lies. But the way that Bring to Light is worded, you get to cast either half of the card for your 5 mana spell. So you can cast the Tibalt half, even though it's a 7 mana Planeswalker. You can cast the Tibalt half if you Bring to Light for Valky. So that's what we're trying to do with that. Just another angle of attack. It allows you, think of like Tibalt as your 5 mana Planeswalker, like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Just 5 mana Planeswalker, gets you a lot of value, can win a game by itself. And then we got Prismatic Ending, best removal spell. We're playing all 5 colors, kind of obvious there. Our Boreal Grazer might be kind of an oddball, but it's nice. Again, we're trying to get to 7 lands for Scapeshift. We are, we're a deck that doesn't have a ton of interaction early, and we're trying to get up to Omnath, Bring to Light, that kind of stuff. So it is something that allows you to hit your extra land drop, and blocks Ragavan quite nicely. So I like Arboreal Grazer as a nice addition to this deck. And then going over the mana base, again, 5 colors of mana. We have a lot of mountains, a lot of like actual, a lot of our dual lands are mountain types because of Scapeshift and Valakut. We want to be able to manual Valakut people. We have 1 Overgrown Tomb. That's kind of a point of contention before because you want to be able to cast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter. When you have it, like, you know, on turn 7, you want to be able to fetch an untapped black source. And I've seen builds in the past that have only had Savai Triumph as their only black source, and they run into these spots where they have to time lock themselves by not casting Tibalt the turn that they have 7 lands because their only black source enters the battlefield tapped. So, just a small note there, I do like the Overgrown Tomb in these decks. Everything else pretty straightforward. Fetches, shock lands, bunch of Triumphs, again, a lot of mountains. Going over to the sideboard, you see 4 copies of Sunset Revelry. That's because the burn matchup is not good. So 4 copies of Revelry. I mean, maybe it gets better with Arboreal Grazer, but 4 Revelry makes sense. 2 Dispute for the control decks, 3 Flusterstorm for control and Cascade, a Crumble to Dust for people who are still playing Tron, Anger of the Gods for Hammer Time, decks that kind of spew a lot of creatures onto the battlefield. 2 Force of Vigors for, mostly here for Blood Moon, because this deck is not the best against Blood Moon. You can beat it, because if you have a basic land in play, like as long as you keep a basic forest, you always have the out of Dryading after they Blood Moon, because of the way that timestamps work, and then Dryad turns all of your lands into, yeah, it's a layers thing. But yeah, we have that for Blood Moon and Hammer Time, and then 2 copies of Endurance for Mill, Dredge, and Living End. So, that's the deck. I am pretty excited for this one. So, remember, don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright, everybody, we're back here for round number 1. Let's go ahead and choose to play first. Looks like our opponent has a companion of sorts. Fortunately, we left our companion at home. This hand seems fine. So we can go turn 1, Temple Garden, Arboreal Grazer, put in Valakut, turn 2, Steam Vents to Fairy. We can't get Basic Forest if we want to put in Valakut. I guess the other line would be Basic Forest, put in Steam Vents, get Basic Plains, but then our 4th land comes into play tapped for Omnath. So let's just get Temple Garden here and then put in the Valakut. We do take a little bit more damage, which is unfortunate if they are burn, but I think the upside of being able to play Omnath on turn 3, like turn 2 Tef into turn 3 Omnath seems like kind of a sicko curve. So, but yeah, let's hope they're not playing burn, because that means taking the extra damage could matter a lot. We'll see what they're up to though. Okay. Still could be some kind of Rakdos mid-range deck. Never mind. Alright, it's burn. I guess we have a blocker for Goblin Guide. That's kind of cool. Alright, we don't have a blocker for Lava Spike. Alright, can I afford the shock for the Teferi here? I guess I could just get a basic island. Yeah, I'm not really trying to manual Valakut them anyways, right? I'm mostly just trying to get to 7 lands for Scapeshift. Let's just get a basic island. I kind of want to down-tick the Teferi. Oh, problem with getting a basic... oh, no, that's bad. If I get basic island, then I can't play Omnath. Yeah, this might have been bad, because what I probably should have done was go Steam Vents untapped, and then this could get Forest. Yeah, this is bad, because I forgot that if I get Basic Island, I have Basic Island, Valakut, Steam Vents, which means I can't play Omnath. So this actually either has to get a shock or just a tap land. I guess we could just not play the Teferi. But I think what I was supposed to do was shock this and play Teferi, and then next turn get an island, and then I would have blue, red... Oh, no, I guess it would be the same thing, right? Even if I shock this... Oh, shock this and get a forest. So green, red, blue, white, yeah. So I would have been able to play Omnath if I had played Steam Vents last turn and then... can't tap like that. Green, red, blue, white. So if I had gone Steam Vents last turn and then Basic Forest this turn, I would have been able to play Omnath. So that's probably what I should have done. I think that would have been a little bit better. Yeah, Steam Vents, because I knew I was going to have to shock at the Steam Vents anyways. But yeah, it would have been better to just go Tef into Basic Forest Omnath. Because I ended up just time walking myself on this Teferi, which is pretty bad. Also, if they have Skullcrack, I would have had a Teferi in play, which means, you know, Teferi into Omnath means they can't Skullcrack your Omnath trigger, which is pretty sick. It's this Searing Blaze on Omnath, sure. So I go to 8, and then they're going to Bolt the Omnath, or Skewer something. Okay, so they go to 9. I mean, they're at 9. It's just, like, not that bad. It's bad, but... So I can play Tef, go to 6, and bounce the Eidolon. Yeah, I kind of have to, right? I can play Ren in 6. Can I... I don't think I can afford to play Ren in 6 and Teferi and go to 4, right? Yeah, I messed this game up. I definitely should have played Steam Vents Teferi on that one turn. I don't know if it would have mattered a ton, but definitely not shocking. I'm probably just dead, to be fair. But yeah, messed up pretty badly. Should have definitely played Steam Vents that one turn. It's alright, we got 4 Revelries. That's what they're here for. Revelries are here to protect us. Alright, they have cast all of their burn spells. I am dead. Alright, 4 Revelries, 3 Flusterstorms. We're going to be cutting... probably Ren in 6. I actually don't love the Supreme Verdict, because we're pretty good at dealing with the 1-drops anyways between Ending and Grazer. So I don't really think we need this. I kind of want to trim Iteration, because we don't have a lot of time for that, and it's pretty bad against Eidolon. And I could see myself trimming 1 Bring to Light, because it is a 5-mana spell. Yeah, let's try that. Think I am down to do that. Also, one thing to note is they usually bring in Roiling Vortex, because they expect Bring to Light. And worth noting, if you Bring to Light for a spell, and then cast that spell, if they have a Roiling Vortex in play, you take 5. So you gotta watch out for that. Alright, tap land, but Fluster, Revelry. I have to keep this hand. I'm gonna lead on Ketria Triumph. No, I'm gonna lead on Savai because I'm more likely to cast Ending on 2 when they play a 1-drop. Because they almost certainly will have a 1-drop, and then I can go Ending into tap land, and then hopefully Revelry with Flusterstorm up the turn after. So that's a good curve. Opponent goes to 6. Always got to be careful sequencing your Triumphs. But again, leading on this one because I'm most likely to cast Ending on turn 2. And it looks like they will oblige. They will. Alright, so I guess I could just fire off the Revelry. How bad is that? I guess it's not that bad, right? Just go Revelry this turn off of Island, and then next turn I can Ending and Flusterstorm. Oh no, they're at 17. Right. So I would have to fetch Shock to Revelry. Yeah, that's bad. I'm just gonna do this. I guess this line is worse if they have Eidolon, because I'd much rather Ending the Eidolon. I could have, I could have fetch Shocked, I guess, but I didn't really want to do that. But I could have fetch Shocked to go to 16, and then I'm at 16, they're at 17, and that would have allowed me to cast the Revelry. Because now I'm not going to get 1/1s out of it. Not that I think that matters. Oh, did they miss a land drop? That means I'm going to get to Revelry and draw a card. Dude, when you get to Revelry for a card against Burn, it feels like you're actually cheating. It's crazy. Alright, let's get a Forest. Let's cast Sunset Revelry and draw a card, gain 4 life. And hold up Flusterstorm. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Like, getting to draw a card against burn off of Revelry is, whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. Roiling Vortex, see? As previously mentioned, so that's going to do some work against Bring to Light. I'm just going to play Omnath. Also, I want to play Omnath here because if they kill it, then I have a second one. So, I think just jamming Omnath. Like, if they want to hold up mana to hold up the Whirling Vortex to, like, make it so I can't get a trigger off the Omnath, and they're not playing spells, because they also missed a land drop the previous turn, so... Definitely something worth noting. But if they want to spend their whole turn killing the Omnath, then, like, kind of okay with that, because then I just have a backup. Like, imagine this turn they just spent their turn casting 2 bolts on Omnath, and then I just drew a land, just played second Omnath, and did the thing. I'll attack for 4, which I assume they're just going to take. I'm just going to play my land tapped and pass and hold up some Flusterstorms. So they're going to activate the Vortex, that's fine. Sure. Alright, your turn. We'll just chill, hold up Flusterstorm. We're winning the race, so no reason to really do anything. If they cast a 1-mana spell, I'm just going to let it resolve. Yeah, that's fine. Still winning the race. I'd rather Flusterstorm 2-mana spells. What we got? Goblin Guide, can't Flusterstorm that. Okay, still winning the race, right? It's 3 versus 5. Yeah, still winning the race. Teferi Time Raveler. That one's also pretty good, because I can Teferi and hold up double Flusterstorm. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Yeah, so we can go tap Forest, Island, Savai Triumph, and then still have double blue up. That I will fluster. I know I said I didn't want to use it on 1-mana spells, but... yeah, maybe that was bad. Nah, I think it's fine. Because I guess they get to keep up the Vortex either way. Yeah, maybe that was bad. I'm just going to attack first. So they go to 7. This puts them to 6. Kind of want to bounce the Vortex because it makes them use more mana. Yeah, I think bouncing the Vortex is fine. Oh, but they don't take a damage. Does the damage matter with them at 7? So it would be 6, 2, 1 versus 2. Makes them use more mana, though. So I kind of like doing it this way. We're going to activate it, sure. Also, the nice thing about doing this is if I draw a fetch land, I can actually fetch in their upkeep, yeah. Because I can fetch in their upkeep when they can't play a spell because I have Tef. I mean, I could just wait until they play the Vortex, right? Yeah, I don't actually have to do anything now, because I have Tef in play. If they go to attack Tef, then I can respond and crack the fetch, because if Tef dies, then they can Skullcrack me. But right now, they can't Skullcrack me, because I have a Tef in place. They can't respond to my fetch. So if they play Vortex, I'm going to respond, gain 3 life, and then go from there. Also, I mean, I have Flusterstorm for Skullcrack anyways, but... they're attacking me, which means I have no reason to crack this fetch yet, because they're ignoring Teferi. So I'll go to 8. But we're at an effective 11 because of the fetch land, so don't forget that. Casting Searing Blaze, targeting Omnath. Just let that go. One of their cards is Vortex, right? So if their last card is a burn spell, I just counter that. Okay, that resolves. Yeah, if their last card is another burn spell targeting Omnath, because they have 2 cards, we know one of them is Vortex, we can just fluster that, and game should be over. Game should be over. Yeah, we're done. I'm gonna gain 7 life, and that should be it. All right, my opponent agrees. Game number 3. Game number 3. Do I want to cut more Bring to Lights now that they've shown me that they did, in fact, bring in the Vortex? I mean, we should have expected that anyways, but... No, I think I like this. This looks good to me. All right. Game number 3. Here's that Overgrown Tomb, huh? So we're missing blue and red mana. Oh, boy. This hand is something. I can't keep this, I don't think. If I had a third land for a Grazer, maybe I could keep that. Now we have Revelry, but no White Source. Ah, man. Well, this is the downfalls of playing a 5-color deck, huh? Should I keep this? How many White Sources are in my deck? Let's take a look. I'm just curious what the math is. I really don't think I should keep this hand, but 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15? It's pretty low. It's like below 33%. Do I think I'm a favorite? Do I think there's like what's the best 5-card hand look like? Like 3 lands, a Revelry, and a Grazer maybe? And this is pretty close to that without having a White Source. Yeah, I'm actually just going to keep this. If I draw a White Source, I think this hand is quite good, but... I'm going to put back Scapeshift because I think it's the card I'm farthest away from, and keeping the second Valakut is good if I find Dryad. It doesn't help me cast Omnath, but... Revealed Expressive Iteration. Well, I can cast that eventually. It's going to be a while, though. It's going to be a while. Alright, I will play Ketria Triome. Maybe I'm supposed to go to 5? Let me know in the comments. Would you keep that 6 or would you go to 5? I think it's close. I think the upside is certainly here, but obviously the downside is we don't draw white mana and we just die. But I don't know. I don't know how likely I am to win in this matchup on 5. Yeah, we're super dead. Oh well, we got burned. I do think this matchup is probably supposed to be pretty bad for the Bring to Light deck, but... And that's why we have 4 Revelries. Like, you know, that's a statement. When you see a sideboard with 4 copies of Sunset Revelry, you know the burn matchup is probably not very good, so... Let's take another draw step. I mean... Go to 12. If I draw a way to get a basic planes, which I only have like... I guess I have 4 Heaths, but... Yeah, so this is break even. I have to shock and then take 2 damage off the Eidolon to just break even off the Revelry. Yeah, this is rough. This is rough. Alright, I go to 9. Yeah, we have no outs. Alright. That was round 1 against Burn. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. Alright, everybody, we're back here for round number 2. Their opponent's kind of their lurse. Oh, boy. Well, I really hope they're not playing Burn. I think I'm supposed to keep this hand. This can get white mana. It's really awkward that it can... We don't have Hallowed Fountain, right? Our only fetchable white lands are Sacred Foundry and Temple Garden. And the awkward part is this doesn't get Sacred Foundry, right? And Temple Garden doesn't cast Iteration, so I can't, like, turn 1 ending, turn 2 Triumph, turn 3 Iteration. So it's super awkward. That being said, I still think this hand's a keep. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I mean, having ending in your hand against the Lurrus deck is pretty important, but... Man, are we going to get burned again? Okay, thank God. This is a deck that is actually beatable. Okay, well, we are required to cast Prismatic Ending on turn 1, even though we're not going to be able to Iteration on time, which is kind of awkward, but we are required to cast Prismatic Ending, so I will do that. Yeah, I wonder if this deck wants a Hallowed Fountain for that exact reason. because like your fetchable white source is your fetchable white source unable to cast expressive iteration because you always want a curve ending on 1, land on 2, and then iteration prior to playing land on 3. So I wonder if that's just like a flaw in the mana base that this should just be a Hallowed Fountain. Because you almost always want your fetchable white source to be able to cast the card that you want to cast on turn 3. So I think that might just be an issue. But that's an easy swap, right? Temple Garden for Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, because we only have one land that doesn't get Hallowed Fountain. We only have one Wooded Foothills. Yeah, I don't know why this isn't just Hallowed Fountain. I guess Hallowed Fountain doesn't cast Ren in 6, but you have more iterations than Ren, right? Anyways, I'm rambling. I guess it's pretty even with the Ren versus iteration argument. Sure, I guess. All right, they have a second Tarmogoyf. Good thing we draw one Verdict. Although I don't have a second white source. All right, I don't think I'm supposed to play iteration here. So well, maybe I am. Because I can go land iteration, try to spike a Grazer off of the iteration. Even if I don't, I can try to find a white source to play Verdict. Yeah, maybe it's actually just worth casting it anyways. I'm giving up a card. Potentially giving up a card if I don't find a Grazer, but I really need to find a white source. Yeah, so I'm going to go put this in hand. And then I guess I'll just keep the Omnath in my deck. And then Grazer the Valakut into play, Chump Block, and then hopefully cast Verdict. It's funny, this actually isn't even a Chump Block. This is just a block. Because there's lands and sorceries in the graveyard. I assume they're probably going to kill this, but... So they have 3 cards. Not killing at end of turn, which is decent. But they don't have a Thoughtseize. Hopefully they do have an Inquisition. Damn it. Alright, really awkward that we drew our one Verdict. Because now we don't have access to it. Although, still funnily enough, of course, only a 2-3. So I could still just block with Grazer. That's hilarious. Also, they take Verdict and then they just, slam, bring to light. So it's like they're kind of in an awkward spot, for sure. I just find it funny that there's going to be 7 cards in the graveyard and Glyph's only a 2-3. But they probably have a Bolt, right? So their plan is like Bolt, attack for 6, and then force me to cast the Verdict. I would assume so. If they're doing it this way. Because they have the Luris to recover from Verdict, so this makes more sense than giving me a Tibalter and Omnath. Alright, now we'll block. The funny thing is, if they don't make the Glyphs bigger, I just don't have to cast the Verdict. I can just sit here and wait. It's a little bit risky against a second Thoughtseize drawn, but... Opponent plays a Catacombs, and I would imagine they're putting Luris in their hand. I would have to guess that that's their play. Because they don't want to commit anything else to the board when they know about the Verdict. So yeah, probably just a Luris. Which it looks like that is the case. Alright, cool. What's our best drop? Bring to Light, Omnath. We drew our 2 1-ofs. That's kind of hilarious. So if I Verdict, they just get to go land Tarmogoyf, which is not actually that good for me. So I'm just gonna... I'm gonna get the Sabai Triome. So if I do want to cast Verdict, I don't have to take a bunch of damage. But now we're just 2 lands away from killing them, which is pretty cool. Again, this line is risky if they find a removal spell for the Grazer. But like worst case scenario, they find an instant for the Grazer. I take 8, go to 5, fetch to 4, cast Verdict, and then I'm at 4, which means I don't die to Bolt. So, I think it's fine. That does make the Goyfs Bigger, right? Artifact. Yeah, because they can target me and keep artifact, sorcery, land. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'm still going to chump block. Because now I'm just going to go to 10, crack fetch, play 6th land, play verdict, and then they have to draw Thoughtseize if they're dead. I guess I have to find a land, but I'm going to do it that way. I mean, I'm probably in really bad shape if they found a Thoughtseize, but alright, Ren and 6 is fine. That I think I can beat. So we just need them to not draw a Thoughtseize, and we should be fine. Alright, let's get Savai Triome. Alright, how about a Dryad? No, that's worse than just casting Verdict. So white, blue, red. There's an argument to holding the land because I drew the Dryad. But by holding the land, it makes it so if I draw a land, it wouldn't matter, right? Because if I hold the land, I just go, yeah, because then I just tap 3, play Dryad, play land, play land. I guess it punishes me if I draw Triome, because I would have exactly enough mana. It would have to be an untapped land, right? But if I hold the land to draw Triome, I go tap, 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 play Dryad, have these two untapped, play Forest untapped, then play Triome. I don't have enough mana to cast Scapeshift. So, I mean, holding land is better if I don't draw land, but much better if I do draw land to play it, because I need 7 lands for Scapeshift. And it could be a Triome, of which I still have 3 in my deck, because remember, there's 5 Triomes. So I think it makes sense to not play it. Alright, well, nothing mattered. Sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Alright, let's get some mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, no, no. Alright, take 18. Cool. Got game number 1 against Jund Saga. Alright, Force bad. Endurance decent, I think. Crumble, it's okay against Ursa Saga, but I don't really think that's where I want to be. Same thing with Force. Like, I don't think you want to try and fight the Saga axis too hard, because they can just beat you with Tarmogoyf and Ragavan and that kind of stuff. I'm not in love with Flusterstorm. To be completely honest with you, I don't really like many of these cards in my sideboard. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really like much of what we got going. Not that I think it's I think it's probably a good matchup for us, but what am I cutting for endurance? I do like endurance against DRC and Luris, and it helps against Tarmogoyf. Not the biggest fan of Grazer against Thoughtseize, but they are a 4 Ragavan deck. I think you could maybe sell me on cutting to Fairy for like at least 1. And then what if we just have 1? 1's kind of weird. I could cut a Dryad. Actually, doesn't that make sense to cut Dryad in a matchup where they're likely going to overboard? Like, they probably have a ton of removal for it. Yeah, let's just do that. You don't want to draw multiple Dryads in this matchup. I know that, like, I think there are some situations where you're playing this deck where you just cut all of your Dryads, but I don't think this is one of those matchups. But I think you can definitely trim on Dryad. Number 2, Jund Saga. Yeah, this hand seems fine. I keep it. See, this is one of those turn 1 Grazer, put in a land, turn 2 Iteration for full value. These hands feel pretty good. I will say these hands feel pretty good. Is this a Ragavan? DRC. Okay. So we're going to go Breeding Pool, Grazer, put in Valakut, and then we have blue-red to cast Iteration. So this is pretty good. Maybe find another Grazer off of the iteration, which would be pretty good. Void Mirror. Okay. So potentially shut off Bring to Light. That's fine. We can usually just win with Omnath and some leftovers. It's not a huge deal. You can pretty easily beat cards like that. And we got that too. So this is going to go to my hand. We'll do hand, bottom, exile, play this, pass. Being able to exile the Void Mirror is pretty important too, because they can't lure us it back. So I think this turn might just be like play a tap land and cycle a Triome, just to try and find some gas, depending on what we draw. Maybe I draw an Omnath and that changes things. Probably still just cycle though. Abrupt Decay, my Grazer. What did my Grazer ever do to you? Alright, they still only have 3 card types. So not quite enough for Delirium. We'll take 1, that's fine. Yeah, we're not really under any pressure, so I think I'm just going to play a tap land and cycle. Oh, never mind. So now we go, I guess we can ending fetch for a basic. Yeah, right. So blue, green, red, white. Okay, so let's go ending your Ragavan. Play this, get probably a basic forest. Not sure. No, basic island. Okay, Thoughtseize resolves. So they're gonna take Tef. That's medium annoying, because now this thing gets turned on. So we get a 14, 13 off the fetch. It's getting a little dicey, perhaps, but... Okay, now it's getting a lot of dicey. Alright, go, I guess. I would like to draw a spell. That'd be nice. Preferably an Omnath. Okay, opponent drew a spell, so I should draw a spell, right? I did. My spell isn't quite as good, but I think I have to kill the Tarmogoyf. Maybe I messed this game up by not fetching mountains to manual Valakut, like, to just get the Channeler out of here. Yeah, I always forget that, because, like, the manual Valakut thing is pretty, definitely comes up from time to time. So I probably should always just be fetching mountains. Alright, so this is going to be Luris. Omnath? Oh, well. We draw one of both times. That's comical. I kind of feel bad. Okay, Game 1, I kind of felt bad. This game, I definitely felt bad because we were just hellbent. Anyways, I can't complain about not top decking, I guess, at that point. Anyways, from 1-1, I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. All right, everybody, we're back here for round number 3. Let's see if we can peel our one-outer again. And that was a one-outer, remember, because they had the Void Mirror to shut off Bring to Light, so that was an actual, factual one-outer. All right, I'm gonna mulligan that hand that doesn't have green or blue mana. And this hand I'm going to keep. It's really interesting as to what to put back and how to sequence. Maybe I just put back the Valakut and go basic Forest into Ragavan Triome and just keep all my good cards. Yeah, let's just do that. There is some downside. 3 Luris decks, by the way. There is some downside to putting back the 4th land when I have Omnath. But, like, I don't know. Putting back a spell if they're playing a discard-heavy deck could also suck. So, I don't know. I'm just going to hope that I draw land 4. Spurn again? 3 matches, 3 Luris decks, though. Okay, probably not Burn. Basic Swamp. So, Jund Saga, maybe? I don't know how many basic swamps Jund Saga has. I don't think they have a lot, right? But also Shadow doesn't really play basic swamp, so I don't know. We'll see. Could be like Spike's Rakdos mid-range deck. Alright, well, they know about the land, so I might as well play it. Because they bobbled me. So they have full information. Plus, I want to play my tap land so I can play Omnath the turn after anyways. This is the one thing I will say. Arboreal Grazer, while very powerful against aggressive strategies, very bad against discard strategies, because it is card disadvantage. Whereas with something like Rampant Growth as a counterpoint, you're down a card, but you're searching your library for a land. You're not down an additional card, So it looks like it is Jund Saga. I'm gonna save the Misty because they don't know about that one. Do I think I'm gonna get to a point where I manual Valakut them? You never know how the game's gonna go. Just in case. Blue, white, red, green. You never know how the game's gonna go. Kind of like last game. I think last match was a great example of me just fetching out non-mountains for not a ton of reason when I probably could have just gotten mountains, because you never know how the game's gonna play out. They have Fatal Push? Yeah, looks like it. That sucks. Hopefully it's just the second Tarmogoyf, but looks like Fatal Push. Oh, Assassin's Trophy, okay. Yeah, again, same thing. I'll just get a mountain. You never know how the game's gonna play out. I will chump block. Might as well gain my 5 life while I can. Spell? It's not a spell. So I'm going to cycle this main phase in case I hit Prismatic Ending to kill the Goyf. Which means I guess I'll leave up Forest plus Rogaran Triumph, because then I can also Ren in 6. Or I could draw an island. Alright, well, I feel like this deck gets into a lot of these spots frequently where it's just like, durdle, and then be dead on board, have to draw, a Bring to Light. But, you have 4 Bring to Lights, so let's hope we draw a Bring to Light, or the Scapeshift. It's always funnier when you just draw the Scapeshift. Oh no, are they going to Ragavan my Scapeshift? Please no. Exiled Savai Triumph. Well, I thank you for that. I definitely did not want to draw Savai Triumph. Alright, Bring to Light. Bring to Light. That's a redraw. Red, green, white, blue. That is a redraw. Oh, interesting. So what's the best way to go about this? I think I'm going to crack the fetch. I could play basic island and then play Tef Bounce a Goyf. Problem with that is if I draw a Prismatic Ending, or a second piece of interaction, I can't bounce the other Goyf. So I kind of want the ability to have my mana up after I play the Tef. So let's do that. I do think... Oh, I can't get a basic. Can I afford the shock? So if I shock to 7, bounce Goyf, they Ragavan me, I chump block the Goyf and take 5 and go to 2, but then I die to Bolt. Yeah, let's just not do that. Let's just not do that. So, play Tef, floating a red. Bounce Tarmogoyf. Okay. Bricked off. But we might get a turn. And that's the important part, getting a turn. That's all we could ever ask for. Six. My coffee is perspiring, so I need to clean off the perspiration. Alright, what do we got? Bobble. They bend Urza Saga. Okay. Now we're just dead to Heat. We could have Heat, right? We didn't present them a target for Heat last turn. Alright, it does not look like they have Heat. Which is pretty good. I'll take that. So we go to 6. We have to chump block the glaive because it's lethal. And draw Bring to Light, or Scapeshift, or a Supreme Verdict. Verdict doesn't win the game outright, but it does probably buy us a turn, right? Well, now they can actually ping the Teferi, which I think they should do. Because that makes it better if I draw Verdict. Because I can actually just plus and Verdict on their turn, so they can't dash Ragavan. But they got back a land. Okay, sure. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I don't think that's going to do it. If we had a Valakut, maybe? No, I'd still be dead, right? Because I could go play Dryad, kill this, but then still just have 2 lethal Tarmogoyfs. Alright. Did not draw the Bring to Light, unfortunately. So, I mean, kind of the same thing as last time, right? Just do this. What did we do? We cut... I think we cut it to Teferi for 2 Endurances. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, back here for game 2. Jund Saga. What do we got? Let's hope to find some gas this game. So, Breeding Pool, Valakut, a Grazer. Even if they have a discard spell, they can't take both iterations. I think I'm going to keep this. It is kind of awkward that we have Mountain and Valakut, because that means we won't necessarily be able to cast Omnath on time, so it's super awkward with that exact setup, but again, this hand being like effectively Thoughtseize proof is pretty good. Like, they Thoughtseize us, what are they going to do? Take Omnath? We still just, 2 iterations to keep going. We have a Grazer for Ragavan. Like, I think you just have to keep a hand like this. This also is we call it the full value Grazer iteration. Turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 iteration before playing a land drop. Alright. Drawing a Temple Garden is pretty good. Oh, yeah. So now we can go Bring to Light to hand, I think. Omnath in the bottom, Exile ending, play Temple Garden, ending this. Perfect. No attacks. And then if we draw a non-Triome land, we get to play Omnath. Any non-Triome land I think should do it, right? Or I guess another Valakut would do it, but... Okay, so let's go ending first. Try to find a land, which we did. So we can go iteration hand, Grazer bottom, Plains exile, play Plains, ending this thing. Oh yeah, this is just a chef's kiss curve out. And then we get to go if we draw fetch land, we get to go Omnath, fetch land, Bring to Light. Jeez. Yeah, this is kind of a gross draw. This is kind of a gross draw. I could just Bring to Light for Valky. What are they going to do if I Bring to Light for Valky? Probably not much, right? But if I draw a fetch land... I'll just Omnath. Wait. Red, blue, green, white. Okay, I knew there was a way I could cast Omnath. I was like, I gotta figure this out. Alright, come on, fetch land. Fetch land! Darn it. Not that upset. We're still pretty far ahead. Maybe I should have just cast Bring to Light for Tibalt there. Not sure. It's probably a little greedy to do the other line, but it's more fun, right? If we Omnath into a fetch land. I guess they could have Needle, right? If I go Bring to Light Tibalt plus, they just make 2 constructs, get a Needle the Tibalt. So, but I guess they're probably just going to Needle Tibalt anyways, right? Yeah. So, I guess that's kind of a poor argument, because now I don't even get an activation out of it. I guess they could name Teferi. Okay, they named Teferi. Also a reasonable name. DRC. Alright. Good verdict. Alright, let's go iteration. We're certainly going to find a fetch land, right? All right, we did. So why don't we put the Valakut in our hand and then exile the fetch land. Now we have 3, 4, 8 mana. No. I mean, I could also just save the Verdict, right? Because the Bring to Light's just lethal next turn anyways. Or, excuse me, save the Bring to Light. Yeah, what if I just did that? What if I just do this, gain some life, pass, and just save the Bring to Light because it's lethal? Yeah, this is fine. I guess worse against Thoughtseize, but if they like Thoughtseize and kill the Omnath, they have to take Bring to Light, then I can just Verdict and it's not even that bad for me. Okay, that's fine. That is acceptable. Been to Bolt. Probably a smart idea. Get back Saga, play Saga. Do they have a Thoughtseize? It appears that they don't. Alright, I'm just going to chump block one of the Saga tokens, take the other one. And it looks like we are good to go. So let's play a Valakut. Let's crack a fetch. Get a basic forest. Let's float a bunch of mana and then cast a Bring to Light. Bring to Light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. I will get a Scapeshift. I will get a Scapeshift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Get 6 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Alright, please let me put all these triggers in the stack. Opponent. Alright, well. Anyways, I will kill you. F6. Alright. 6 Valakut triggers. We're going to game 3. A lot of Omnath triggers, too. Alright, to game 3 we go. I am still not going to change up my sideboarding, so let's go. Here we are for game number 3. Our opponent has taken a mulligan, and this hand is super interesting. There's not a lot going on, let me tell you. Not a lot going on. No early interaction, no Grazer. We do have turn 3 iteration. I just feel like this hand just... Man, I also hate mulliganing against Thoughtseize, but if I keep this hand and they have a turn 1 Ragavan, I'd probably just lose on the spot. Yeah, I think I gotta ship this because of how bad that hand is against turn 1 Ragavan. Yeah, this hand's better. I'm gonna put back the Sabai Triumph, I think. Yeah. Yeah, this hand is perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Teferi, which is pretty good. I just don't think you can keep a hand that doesn't have an answer to a turn 1 Ragavan. Because you have 8 of them in your deck, you know. It's not like you only have four bolts or whatever. You have 8 ways to answer Ragavan, quote unquote, with 4 Grazer, 4 Ending. So now that being said, Grazer is a lot worse on the mulligan, but so that's something you also have to take into consideration. That was a pretty good draw. So, Grazer into Teferi. Maybe if they play a Saga, I'll probably bounce that. Just to kind of time walk them. Play Goyf, I'll just bounce that. Looks like they have Goyf. Yeah, okay. So Teferi bounce this. Pretty good tempo play. Can maybe set up turn 4, Bring to Light for Valky potentially. Oh, dude, it's so awkward when you draw the Scapeshift, because then when they Thoughtseize you, your Bring to Lights now don't win the game, you know? And maybe that's an argument to play a second Scapeshift, because it's just so bad when you draw the first Scapeshift against Thoughtseize. Because if they take this, my Bring to Lights are so much worse now, you know? I guess I have Endurance to shuffle it back in, so... Ha ha ha, got him. I ain't got no targets for that. Got no targets for that. God. Love it when they cast Inquisition and Brick. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Oh, and they don't have a land for Goyf either. Jeez. Block while I can. Block is good if I draw a second Grazer, because I get to keep Tef for another turn. I guess it means I gain less life off the Goyf, but I think it's worth. Ho ho! Well, you don't say. They have 2 cards in their hand, 4 card types. Casting the Omnath. No, I just wait, right? Because I can go Omnath, fetch, Bring to Light next turn. Yeah, let's just wait. I guess waiting is worse if they have a Thoughtseize. But if they Thoughtseize me and they take Omnath, then I can just Bring to Light for Verdict, right? So maybe that's not that bad. Boy. You love to see it. You love to see it. Feels good. Also, what 3-mana spell would I have had that I wouldn't have cast? I mean, I guess they just wanted to cast it anyways to make the Goyf bigger, but... If I had any 3-mana spell or less, I would have just played it, right? Alpine Moon. Okay, I don't like that as much. That's kind of annoying. But now I can just Verdict, right? Yeah, now we can just BTL Verdict. So they kill Tef, we take 6, go to 12, fetch to 11, play Verdict, and then have Scapeshift Omnath as leftovers. We have to find an answer to the Alpine Moon eventually, but we got time. They're gonna have no pressure, so we'll be okay. I do have to cast Verdict here, right? I can't, like, get a Valky. What if I go Omnath, fetch, basic forest, BTL Valky, uptick, chump block Tarmogoyf? It's not great, is it? No, I gotta cast Verdict here, I think. I think I gotta cast Verdict. So let's just get a forest. Alright, BTL. Green, white, red, blue, black just for value. Where's the Verdict? There's the Verdict. Alright. Kill your Goyf, kill your channel. This just buys us infinite time. Because it's going to take a while for them to set back up, like get enough pressure again with the Saga. And this will buy us enough time to hopefully find an answer to this Alpine Moon. Like another Teferi or a Prismatic Ending. Because that's all we need right now, is just an answer to the Moon. Because then we have lethal. So. It buys us a lot of time. I think the Valky line is like kind of close, but it's also a little sketch. So this is probably going to name Tef. Could name Valky, I guess, but or Tybalt. They did name Tef. Tybalt, unfortunately, does not kill enchantments. So that's kind of sad. It would have been a good draw, but... Alright, so green, white, red, blue, Omnath. Oh, look, a Prismatic Ending. I'm going to cast that now in case they find Thoughtseize. And your turn. Because now, even if they draw Thoughtseize, we have Dryad with double Valakut and a Scapeshift. So... We don't really have bad draws at this point, right? I guess a second Omnath is our worst draw, but even that's a redraw. Ending at least kills a token. I guess Teferi is our worst draw because they have the Needle. Yeah, most cards in our deck are pretty good draws at this point. I think if they get an artifact and attack for 4, I might just block. Okay, well now if they attack for 5, I'm obviously not going to block, but... Alright, they found Heat, which is not bad, but... Again, any land kills them. Most things kill them, right? Okay, Prismatic Ending does not kill them. But we can go Prismatic Ending the Construct, play Dryad, pass. And now the Scapeshift is lethal next turn, even if we don't draw a land. So I guess the worst case scenario is they find Unholy Heat and we brick on land. So they have to draw Heat and we brick on land, because they can go Heat, equip, attack for 4. And then if we don't draw a land, we don't have lethal with the Scapeshift. Alright, so I'll take 4. I accept. They could have also drawn Heat and are just holding it, and are hoping that I just Scapeshift with 6 lands in play and they can kill the Dryad with all the triggers in the stack, but hopefully we just find a land to make that not relevant. Yeah, okay, cool. So, save targets. Turn off auto yields. Always yes. Always yes. Always yield. Alright, fetch. Whatever. Let's just save targets so we can save a lot of time. Save targets, save time. I mean, they know about the Scapeshift, so. Are we done? Red mana. If you had the Heat, you would have already cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll even play around Heat just because I can, but I don't need to, because they would have already cast the Heat. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, no. Alright, they're dead. Cool, 2-1. I do think this matchup is pretty good, the Jund Saga matchup, and as you can see, we have defeated it twice. So 2-1. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 4. All right, everybody, back here for round number 4. We're 4 for 4 on companions, by the way. Opponent's got a Giganta, which probably means Tron. While I do think the Tron matchup is not horrendous, I think this hand is not even close to good enough against Tron. Like, I think you have to have Grazer into Dryad to have a shot against them. This hand is just way too slow. I like... If I thought they were Affinity, would I keep this hand? Because this could also mean Affinity. Is this hand even that good against Affinity, though? It's just slow. It's just too slow. Eh. I mean, I guess Prismatic Ending does something against Tron. I think I'm going to keep this and put back the Omnath or the Bring to Light. I want to keep and go turn 1 Ending off of Sacred Foundry, turn 2 Steam Vents, turn 3 Iteration, hopefully find a Grazer, and then we can go Tomb, Grazer, yada yada. And then I think I want my follow-up to be Bring to Light and not Omnath, because Bring to Light gets the game over with quickly if they are Tron. And I'm going to assume Tron, because that's mostly what Giganta means. Most of the time, that's what Giganta is. Could be Affinity, but... I guess it could also be Zoo, maybe? Less likely to be Zoo, though. I haven't seen a lot of Zoo around lately. But could be Zoo. Oh boy. Alright, Mox Amber, I was wrong. I guess this still could be Affinity. More likely to be one of those, Underworld Breach decks, probably. Is matchup good for us? I mean, we got Endurances. Oh. So, Prismatic Ending or Mox Amber, you don't say. Well, I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. Prismatic ending your Moxamber, you don't say. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, oh, they conceded from the game? I mean, they still had Ragavan, right? Like, they weren't dead. Anyways. Okay, so we're going to... I guess we're going to assume some sort of Underworld Breach deck, which means Endurance, Force of Vigor, probably. Maybe Flusterstorm, but probably not. Prismatic Ending's pretty good. I mean, they literally just conceded to it, so... I'm going to cut a Ren, I'm going to cut a Tef. And I feel like I probably don't need the Verdict. And shave a Dryad. Let's do that. Feels weird to shave green cards when you're bringing in Endurance and Force, but... I don't know. In matchups like this where your Dryad's not dying, you don't really ever want to draw the second one, and it's not your main plan. Like, your main plan is just ramp into Bring to Light and do that kind of stuff. It is nice that this hand has an extra Dryad to pitch to Force, though. So that's kind of cool. So we can just pitch the second Dryad, and then we have turn 3 Dryad, hopefully turn 4 Omnath. Maybe we'll draw Grazer, and we get to go turn 2 Dryad, turn 3 Omnath. Yeah, I don't know. I think that game wasn't over yet. They still were hitting me with a Ragavan. Like, even if they have no other lands in their hand, they still have the Ragavan, right? I don't know. Urza's Saga. Okay. Springleaf Drum, yeah. Alright, now I'm going to respond. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay, well, anyways, we're 3-1, I guess. Draw your Force of Vigor against Affinity / Stuff Artifact decks. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. We're 3-1. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 5. All right, everybody, it is time for the 5th and final round. We finally don't have a companion on the other side of the table, which is pretty cool. And... see, I think I'm going to keep this hand, but it's really slow. So hopefully we get some time. Or are they doing the Hammer Time with no Luris? Okay, well this hand's pretty bad against Hammer Time. Exceptionally bad against Hammer Time. I played the wrong Trime. I should have played Rogren in case I draw Prismatic Ending, because I don't want to have to play basic planes, because then I can't play Iteration the turn after. Although I'm likely just playing Dryad, so it might not matter. But I should have played this land. So yeah, they're doing the Hammer Time with no Luris, which was I think it was Crusherbot BG who top forward the challenge that me and Spike played the finals of, and they weren't playing Luris because they had, I want to say they had Nettle Cyst and Sword of Fire and Ice main deck, and then Sword of War and Peace and Sword of Sinew and Steel on the sideboard. I think that's what they were doing with their Stoneforge package, which seemed pretty interesting. I don't know if I like that much because of how broken Luris is, but it's something you can do, you know. Okay, so let's go Grazer. You want to fetch here? Yeah, I guess I should just get another Triumph, right? Sure. Just for, like, I guess I don't really need manual Valakut stuff, because I have the Dryad, but I was thinking for manual Valakut purposes I wanted to crack a fetch there. Because I still have an extra fetch if I find an Omnath. I also just don't really want to draw Triomes, so I don't mind fetching them out of my deck. I guess that's more the reason. I'm going to get the second Ketria. And then if I draw Grazer, I can go Dryad, Grazer. Yeah. I mean, I'm likely just going to go Dryad Iteration. Because even though I'm spewing a card off of the Iteration, I just want to find Bring to Light. Because Dryad plus Bring to Light in 6 lands is lethal. So I just want to aggressively look for Bring to Light as much as possible. Because that's all I'm really missing. So even if I'm giving up a card off of the Iteration, it's not that bad. I don't really mind that much. I'm not really here for the extra card. I'm here to just try and find the card that kills them. Not trying to play a long game. That's what I'm getting at. Oh, well, that works too. So now we can go Dryad, play Heath, play Iteration, and now we just need any land. Just any land. And whatever. Alright, go. So Dryad plus Misty plus Scapeshift should be lethal next turn. See what happens. Maybe they put us into a spot where we have to block with Dryad and we no longer have lethal. So we'll see what they do. Okay, well, if they're making a construct, that's got to be pretty good for us. Because that means we should just be able to chump block with Grazer and kill them. But remember, so for those of you who haven't seen the interaction before with Dryad and Scapeshift, I know I said in the intro that you need, seven lands to be able to kill them with Scapeshift. Not with Dryad, you only need 6 lands. And what happens with Dryad and Scapeshift is if you get 4 Valakuts and two literally any other lands, all of your lands are mountains, which means that you already have met the requirement of needing 5 other mountains with the Dryad in play because it turns all of your lands into mountains. So you only need 6 lands to kill them with that setup. Alright, it appears that they are dead. Steel Shaper's Gift. Yeah, looks like they're dead to me. Alright, up a game against Hammer. Which is pretty cool. See, they're taking on the Steel Shaper's Gift. They definitely have the weird sword package. Sword, Nettle Cyst, that kind of stuff. Alright, they got Nettle Cyst. It's not gonna matter. Alright, play some lands. Play escape shifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna show you how much damage it actually is. No, I wanted to get my 4 Valakuts. How much is that? So 4 Valakuts and 3 other lands. So it's what? 4 times 7 is 28 triggers. 28 times 3, is that what it is? So 2, 4, 6. Is that 84 damage? I think it's 84 damage. I can't count that high. Anyways, Force of Vigor coming in. Anger of the Gods coming in. Is that it? I don't think I want Crumble. I think Crumble for Saga is too slow against them. So that looks like the only cards that I want. And let's trim on Dryad, Teferi, and Ren and 6. Cool. Again, just trim on some of the slower, more value-oriented stuff, and just try and get them dead. Okay, opponent mulls to 6. This is a turn 2 Ren and 6, turn 3 Anger of the Gods. I think that's good enough. It's pretty close, though. Because there is a subset of draws where Anger of the Gods is not that good against them if they have like a fast Pure Steel, or excuse me, a fast Sigarda's Aid. But, you know, for every one of those, there are a good number of draws where Anger's good and Ren's good against a decent portion of their draws. So, I don't know. I think this is a fine hand. Okay, that's not what I was hoping to see. So this is going to get Colossus Hammer. Okay. Kind of have to fetch a shock land here if I want to get back a land with Red and 6. And I kind of want it to be a red source, so I guess I get Stomping Ground. I think. Just trying to parse through this. Yeah, let's get Stomping Ground. Taking some extra damage, but I think it's okay. I don't want to just play... I guess I could have played Sacred Foundry and then still been able to Iteration, but I wanted to get back a land with Ren and 6. That's why I fetched. But I couldn't get a basic Forest, because if I get a basic Forest, then I can't play Iteration prior to playing a land next turn. So I think it's worth taking 2 to do that. Oh, okay, well... That's not good. That is not good. So we're at 6, and we have to find Force of Vigor, or we're dead. We're ending, I guess. I guess we could... Nope, because even if I iteration into Prismatic Ending to kill the hammer, they just get another hammer. So I believe we are dead. I mean, I'll just cast this anyways, but I don't think we have outs. Grazer, they just get Shadow Spear. They maybe sometimes cut Shadow Spear. I don't know. I'll make them show me the Shadow Spear, but I believe I am dead. So, Forest, this, plus show me the Shadow Spear. Sometimes they cut it, but they know I have Grazer, so I doubt they would cut it. Dead. Game number 3. And don't really want to change anything. I mean, Teferi is better on the play, but so is Ren and 6. I've got an iteration, actually, for Teferi. Yeah, let's do that. I think I like Teferi more on the play than the 4th iteration. It's kind of the same deal. Like, you just don't have time for that kind of stuff. But I think Teferi's higher upside, especially in the play, when they go for those kinds of lines. Like, if I drew Teferi that game instead of iteration, I would have won. Well, maybe not would have won, but I would have bought myself a turn. So, still probably in bad shape, actually, right? Because I bounce the Stoneforge, they just get to replay it, get another hammer, yada yada. Alright, is this hand good? It certainly doesn't look good. It's what? Turn 1, Jeskai Triome, Prismatic ending their first play, then Valakut on 2, and then iteration into hopefully Grazer. Alright, let's try it. Just because we have ending into iteration, like that's a pretty good one too. I think it's okay. I don't love this hand, but... They had the needle? Oh, no. It's not that bad, and I could just ending the needle. Yeah, I yielded until next end step. I didn't know they actually had needle. But they got me with the F6. I mean, I was going to end it anyway, so it doesn't matter too much, but kind of messed me up a little bit. White, white. Stoneforge Mystic. Drawing Force of Vigor was quite good. I will say that. Alright, Colossus Hammer has entered the revealed card zone. Now we can get Ketria Triome. Do I want to ending this? No, I don't have to ending this because I have Force of Vigor up. So let's do it this way. Ooh, perfect. So let's go hand, bottom, exile. Play this, get a basic. Forest, Grazer, put this into play, pass turn. This is looking pretty good. I don't want to cast Force of Vigor here, so hopefully they don't force me to, because I'd much rather just hardcast it next turn. But we'll see what they do. We know they have Hammer. Okay, that's fine. I will declare a block, because I am required to. Alright, you have a hammer. Do you also have a Shadow Spear? Alright, my Grazer is dead. I'm just going to let it die, I think. I don't want to cast the Forest, because I don't want to pitch the Bring to Light. I might just Prismatic Ending the Stoneforge Mystic and chill. Interesting. Yeah, what if I just Prismatic Ending the Stoneforge and just kind of chill out for a little bit? I kind of like that. Maybe wish I had gotten a Black Source to hardcast the Valky. Silent Clearing, Steel Shaper's Gift resolves. So this is probably getting another hammer, huh? So they have a creature. I was going to say they get a Nettle Cyst, but... Pure Steel Paladin. Yeah, that one's not great for me. Teferi Time Raveler. Interesting. So can play Tef. Yeah, this is actually not that bad, right? Play Tef. They respond, play Hammer. Fine, they draw a card. Then I just bounce the Paladin. Sure. So that's fine. They draw a card. Then I bounce Paladin. I just want to find lands here. I want to be able to like bring to light and then also hold up Force of Vigor. That's kind of where I'm getting at. All right, there we go. So, I guess I can't really bring to light for anything meaningful because we have the Valky in our hand. I can maybe get Verdict and then try to set up for a Scapeshift kill, depending on what happens. Okay, that's fine. They have another artifact. So I think I just let this go and then BTL for Verdict. Yeah, we just let this go, I think. Because we can't take any damage this turn because they don't have a haste creature. So I think we can let this go. And then we can just plus Tef and hold up BTL for Verdict. White, white. Seal of Cleansing. That doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is totally fine. Drew an Omnath. How greedy do I want to get? Not greedy at all. Alright, plus Tef pass. And then we're just going to hold up BTL for Verdict. So they probably just lean on attacking. Sacrifice Silent Clearing. I guess we could also just cast Force of Vigor. We don't have to cast Bring to Light. Depending on how they attack, I could just like force the 2 hammers. But I feel like it's probably better for me to cast BTL because it uses my mana better. And like Force could be free on a turn where I go Omnath and then hold up Force. So green, blue, white, red, red. White, blue, red, red, green. Done. So now we get Verdict. Cast Verdict. Verdict happens. Their stuff dies. They have 4 cards. Sure. I don't have to kill that yet. Okay, so plus Tef. Now let's play Omnath. Trying to find a fetch land, but we don't necessarily need a fetch land, but it would be ideal. Okay, Savai Triome. So, yeah, now we're in a pretty good spot because we have 6 lands. They don't have a creature in play, so they can't really threaten any reasonable attack this turn. And then next turn we can just set up Scapeshift if we find a land. So, I guess they can have something weird. Like, I've seen these decks play Lightning Greaves. Oh, well, that's perfect for us. Okay. I'll get a Plains. Need to do a check for mountains. 1, 2, 3 mountains. We should have enough, right? How many total mountains? I just want to do a count. I haven't been checking, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mountains. Minus 3 is 6. Yeah, so it's just enough. Alright. Plus 6, 7. Let's go green, green, red, red, white, red, black. Cast Scapeshift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I will get my 6 remaining mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, no. Upstairs, what are you at? 18? It's a pretty convenient number, I would say. Alright, picked up the 4-1. Not too bad. Picked up the 4-1, lost to Burn, which I do think is probably one of your weaker matchups, but nice little 4-1, not too bad. I like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty good. I think, remember how I was saying in the, for those of you who watched the Modern Metagame video, I was saying that I think like linear combo could be, and that's not what I think this is. This isn't like linear combo, but it is a deck that has, a proactive game plan. It has good mid-range elements with Omnath and, BTL for Valky, but it it ends the game quickly. You know what I mean? It can turn the corner very quickly is what I meant to say. That's why I'm a huge fan of the 4-color Rhinos deck, stuff like that, and I like those decks more than I like the 4-color canister decks, because those decks can't really turn the corner as much. That's kind of my main concern with those. But definitely a deck to consider if you are looking for a deck to maybe play this weekend. Maybe you're going to SCG Con. I would still recommend playing the Rhinos deck. By the way, if you want information on the 4-color Yorion Rhinos deck, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I have a Twitter post. Go check out my Twitter. It's in the link below. Twitter post with a sideboard guide and the recommended deck list that I would play. So be sure to go check that out. Head over to the Twitter. Be sure to follow that. Anyways, if you're playing an SCG Con this weekend, I bid you good luck. I hope you take down the tournament. And with that, I will see y'all in the next one.